Hey everyone, it is Scruffy, and it is Saturday night, and I am going to read a little bit from a book called Minnetonka Moon. This particular book is a historical fiction. It is by Lindsay McCullen, who is me, that is my pen name, and this book is about two girls from two separate worlds. One is Dakota Indian in Minnesota, and the other girl is a European girl mix, and her mother was brought over many years ago as a Irish slave, and then her mother passed away, and she is being raised by a European couple. And this takes place just around the time, right before and during the 1862 Dakota-Minnesota War, which was a real war. So let me get started. I'm going to read you a little bit from it. Winona moved quickly. It was almost time. She knew very well that the time was near. The pain was increasing. She grabbed the rest of the green moss and wrapped it tight inside her buckskin bag and threw it across her back. She winced in pain and held her protruding belly. Yes, it was time. She barely made it to the special teepee where she will give birth to her second child. The pain was intensifying, and she laid her buckskin down that contained the moss for the baby's diaper. She grabbed a nearby short stick and bit down hard with her teeth. The contractions were strong and consistent. No longer could she keep from screaming. The stick dropped out of her mouth. She screamed a hearty scream, and then she stood and braced herself with a sturdy long stick. The infant emerged and dropped onto a buffalo skin beneath Winona. She knelt down where the baby lay covered in blood. Winona cut the umbilical cord and held the baby to her breast. As she lay stroking the baby's wet hair, her mother entered the teepee and smiled. The sultry month of August, moonlight splashed upon the water like star dust painted across the night sky. Chief Gray Horse had inspected the wild rice in the marsh and determined that the harvest would be one full moon away. The chief and his son collected the fish that they had speared and climbed into the canoe to return to their camp, which was nearby. He would send the women tomorrow to collect berries along the shoreline. Watega ran to her father and brother's canoe when it arrived. She leaned over the canoe to see what they had brought home. Chief Gray Horse laughed at his daughter and told her that there was plenty of fish to take over to prepare and cook. Her brother Low Red Feather grabbed the fish as he climbed out of the canoe. He handed her the fish and spoke. "Take this and prepare, we will eat tonight." Winona took some of the fish from her daughter, and they both began to scale the fish. Chief Gray Horse told his daughter and his wife to collect berries in the morning. "We will eat some berries, and we will use some for dye." Now, this book I wrote back in 2015. No, it was before that. I think I just published it in 2015. I started it like in 2012, 2011, something like that, and it was slow going. But I did finish it, and it's an interesting book. It's more for young adults, older teens. It's a story that is based on truth about the Dakota-Minnesota War. And I spent a lot of time doing researching about what happened back then in the 1800s, mid-1800s. President Lincoln was involved in this event that took place back then. He had to determine which Dakota Indians would live and who would die, and that's a real story. So you might want to check it out. I have it ebook on Amazon.com. Minnetonka Moon for $2.99. And it is not professionally edited, so it's a pretty raw book. But it's still worthy to read, I think. And that picture right there, that moon over the lake, that is really Lake Minnetonka. I was living down in Lake Minnetonka in Orono, Minnesota for a while, and I was like a stone throw away from the lake. And that lake inspired me to write this book. But Lindsay McCullen is my pen name, and I do historical fiction, and I'm thinking about writing another book or two if I have it in me at this late stage. But check it out on Amazon and let me know what you think about it. Thanks a lot, you guys.